evening and welcome to the show. I'm Kirsty. My guest today is an award-winning director who started his career as a film critic many years ago. He's directed several of the most spectacular and mind-blowing hit films over the past 6 years, including the multi-award-winning film Powerade Man. Let's take a look. I am, of course, talking about Richard. Richard, it's lovely to have you here with us today.
Lovely to be here. It's great that you showed Powerade Man. Do you know how many awards that thing won? I mean, it's quite an experience to watch, as I'm sure you know.
I haven't actually seen the film.
Well, you haven't seen it. Everybody's seen it.
No, I haven't seen it.
Well, I'll arrange a special screening for you after the show.
Anyway, so we're going to get back to your roots today, Richard, back to the beginning, back where it all began. So you're going to talk to us about how the films from the 80s and 90s compared to those today. So I'll start by asking you about your influences.
Those are my influences. The 80s and 90s, the classic blockbusters, that's them. But you could go all the way back to the 70s, really, with Jaws, which started the whole blockbuster, Spielberg's finest, really, and started the whole blockbuster thing. It was the first mega hit, and it started this whole idea of movies not just being movies anymore. They were events. And Jaws became a cultural phenomenon when it was out. But not only that, it ushered in an era of filmmaking where movies were larger than life. They were bigger than anybody had ever seen before. Really thrilling. And I love thrilling audiences, which is why I love blockbusters. But nobody really knew how much an audience could be affected by a blockbuster until they were taken to a galaxy far, far away.
Ah, you're talking about Star Wars?
Yes, I am. George, the films were groundbreaking. Lucas, apart from Spielberg, is the real father of the blockbuster era. And the techniques that he pioneered in those movies, groundbreaking special effects. There'd been special effects before, but not like this. They were so believable, so incredibly done. And they started off a sort of arms race in terms of topping each other with movies. Movies were incredible now. They showed you things you could have never seen before. And a great example of that is Indiana Jones, a great Spielberg gem. They've got such incredible set pieces in them, each one. And the one that really sticks in my mind is the melting Nazis. I mean, that is just unforgettable, quite terrifying like, but really good, and a real good example of the blockbuster genre there. Following on from that, the reason why blockbusters in the 80s were so good is the characters. Great characters, not disposable ones. That's what brings me back, that's what inspired me. Now talk about characters, forget Indiana Jones, let's talk about E.T. Spielberg, I have to agree with him. It's a really touching story, and with some really great Spielberg moments in it. From the heart-wrenching moment where E.T.'s left alone, chasing after his parents' spaceship as they just abandon him. Well, they don't know that, but still, it's a very emotional scene. And all the way through to the ending, where you see Elliot and E.T. fly across the moon. The music soars. It's just an epic moment, which makes that one of the best films that I've ever seen, actually. But my favourite movie ever also deals with extraterrestrials, although these ones aren't quite as nice. James Cameron's Aliens, the action war blockbuster. Cameron was such in his prime when he made this movie. He's an incredible action director anyway, but this was like him at his peak. The set pieces were just incredible. The action was beautifully choreographed with incredible special effects, a wonderful musical score, and it just always stuck with me. It's probably the best action movie ever. He took Ridley Scott's sort of chamber-piece horror movie and turbocharged it. So every time I watch it now, even though I must have seen it a couple hundred times, I still get chills. You see Ripley going down into the bowels of the complex, even though she knows it's going to explode. She has to rescue that child. And you see her putting together a combination, machine gun, flamethrower, grenade launcher in the lift, and those doors open. You see her there standing, ready to take on the universe. Goosebumps every time, still. But there's so many blockbusters by that time, people were just getting fed up with them. I mean, even me, by the end of the 90s, it just seemed like movies were trying to get bigger explosions of every time, bigger gunfights, a longer car chase. Look at the later Terminator movies, for example, or Volcano. Volcano. It's just so over the top, so outrageous. They've even got a dog escaping from a lava-filled house. If you thought the escape in Independence Day was a bit much, watch that. But I love it. It's great. It inspired me, even though it was completely ridiculous. That's one of the things I loved about it, that they were able to get away with that. So I love Volcano.
So do you think that audiences today still want the big budget, the big all singing, all dancing productions?
Yeah, I mean, they're still making them. That doesn't necessarily mean people still want them, but I think when you look at films like 2012, which just came for me, I love all his films. He's a great master of disaster. And he's good at doing eye-popping vistas and visuals. People still want to be taken on a roller coaster ride, definitely. I'm a big believer that movies are escapist entertainment, and roller coasters are a great form of that. And if you want proof that the blockbuster is still with us in a big way, and that it's here to stay, it's a great genre, well, just look at James Cameron's Avatar. That is going to be an enclosed that blockbusters can still thrill us. They're still incredible. It's going to be amazing when it comes out.
Well, thank you for taking time out to come and speak to us today. It's been very interesting, and we'll be back after the break.
And I'll be back later to show you that special screening.